Good morning, Cullman. Thank you for joining us on Cullman Today. I'm your host, Christine Wiggins, and today is Tuesday, August 5th. Coming up on Cullman Today, 2 arrested in Cullman theft cases, debit card fraud and Red Roof Inn burglary. DA rules July 19th officer-involved shooting justified, and Cornelius announces run for revenue commissioner. All of this plus sports, weather, and more. Now let's take a closer look at the top stories happening in Cullman today. Christopher Michael Melvin, 45 of Vinemont, was arrested July 31st, charged with 1 count of identity theft and 2 counts of fraudulent use of a creditor debit card. According to court records, the identity theft charge stems from Melvin allegedly recording the victim's debit card information with his cell phone on June 13th at the Love's Travel Stop on County Road 222. The 2 counts of fraudulent use of a credit or debit card stem from Melvin allegedly using the victim's card to obtain services from the Cullman Electric Co-op on June 13th and to obtain services at the Days Inn in Cullman on June 16th. A Faultville man is behind bars following a theft investigation at the Red Roof Inn in Cullman on Saturday, August 2nd. Cullman police used surveillance footage and other evidence to identify the suspect as 40-year-old Stanley Baker. Not long after the theft, the officers on routine patrol stopped Baker for unrelated traffic violations. At the time, they were unaware he was connected to the incident. During the stop, Baker was arrested on unrelated charges, including outstanding warrants and unlawful possession of drug paraphernalia. Officers also noticed several tools in his vehicle commonly used in burglaries, but didn't yet have probable cause for additional charges. After further investigation, a search warrant was obtained and executed on the vehicle. Inside, officers recovered multiple tools believed to be used in the Red Roof Inn theft. Baker has now been charged with 4th-degree theft of property and possession of burglary tools. Cullman County District Attorney Champ Crocker announced Monday that an officer-involved shooting in the Bethel community last month was justified. The incident happened July 19th as Cullman County Sheriff's Office deputies attempted to serve an arrest warrant at a residence. According to officials, deputies were directed to a basement entry by the homeowner. After announcing their presence, they found the suspect barricaded behind a door. Deputies informed the man there was a warrant and instructed him to surrender. The suspect reportedly refused, stated he had a gun, and threatened to protect himself. As deputies entered, the man brandished a shotgun, prompting them to open fire. The suspect was hit by 1 round. Body camera footage and evidence were reviewed by the DA, who said the deputies responded appropriately to a deadly threat. Crocker emphasized the suspect's weapon was loaded and that the deputies administered first aid until medics arrived. The suspect was taken to a hospital for treatment. His identity and the names of the deputies involved have not been released. Crocker says the case will be presented to a grand jury where he will recommend the shooting be ruled justified. Cullman County Parks and Recreation Director and Hanceville City Councilman Kenneth Cornelius has announced he is seeking the Republican nomination for Cullman County Revenue Commissioner. Cornelius, a longtime businessman, says his background in entrepreneurship and service gives him a unique perspective for the role. He began his business career at age 24 and has since operated multiple express lube centers, car washes, a coffee shop, storage facilities, and rental properties. He's also been active in cattle farming for over 15 years. In addition to his work in the private sector, Cornelius has held leadership roles within the Cullman County Republican Party and serves on several boards, including Cullman County Tourism and E911. Cornelius was appointed to the Hanceville City Council in 2024 and currently serves as the county's Parks and Recreation Director. A Hanceville High School graduate and Wallace State alum, Cornelius and his wife Tammy have been married for more than 32 years and have 2 children. The office of Cullman County Revenue Commissioner will be on the ballot in 2026. And that's all for our top stories this morning. Coming up next, the Meek Tigers gear up for 2025 football season. Sports is next. Welcome back. The Meek Tigers are gearing up for another big run this fall after reaching the postseason in 2024, and head coach Daniel Evans says the team is locked in. With a veteran-heavy roster and strong team chemistry, Evans reports one of the best off-seasons he can remember. The Tigers skipped spring practice this year, giving players a break before launching into a focused summer program. He says the decision helped keep energy high and motivation strong. Meek returns experienced talent on both sides of the ball, which Evan calls a rare luxury. The defensive line is expected to be elite once again, and the offensive line brings back 3 starters along with a 4th who saw plenty of action. In the backfield, veteran quarterback Evan McKay and running back Hunter Wyatt will lead the charge. The Tigers will kick off their season with a rivalry matchup against Lynn on August 22nd. While wins are the goal, Coach Evans says the bigger focus is on playing every snap with physicality and full effort. With experience, leadership, and momentum on their side, Meek is hoping to make another deep postseason run. And that wraps up sports for today. Coming up next, a local quilt show returns with heart and heritage. Colony Day brings families home for a weekend celebration. Bibles and Backpacks event serves hundreds in Cullman, and Mavens Makers moves, adding charm and community events to downtown. Welcome back. Now it's time to speed things up with a news rundown. 4 stories in under 4 minutes. The Heartland Quilt Guild held its first quilt show since 2019 this weekend at St. Andrew's Church. Called the Heartland Revival, the event featured dozens of handmade quilts, live demos, local vendors, and a donation quilt drawing. The Guild, founded in 2001, has around 55 members and meets monthly at Christ Covenant Presbyterian Church. Each year, members support a different charity. This year, the St. Vincent de Paul Food Pantry. A highlight of the show was the presentation of a special quilt to Vietnam veteran Raymond Williamson, awarded by the Quilts of Valor Foundation, which honors veterans and service members across the country. Proceeds from the show help fund Guild programs and events throughout the year. Membership is $25 annually and open to all skill levels. If you're interested in joining or just want to learn more, you're invited to attend one of their upcoming meetings. Families from across the country return to Colony for the annual Colony Day celebration held August 1st through 3rd. The 3-day event served as both a homecoming and a celebration of community, drawing visitors from as far away as California, Maryland, and Pennsylvania. Led by Councilwoman Jasmine Cole, who oversees Parks and Recreation, the festivities kicked off Friday night with a community dinner and Colony's first ever comedy show. Saturday brought a full day of fun with live music, food vendors, and a giant water slide for kids. The celebration wrapped up Sunday with a community-wide worship service at Colony Educational Complex. Now in its 5th year under Cole's leadership, Colony Day continues to grow as a beloved tradition, bringing generations together to reconnect, reminisce, and celebrate the unique spirit of this close-knit town. A new back-to-school outreach called Bibles and Backpacks brought hope and help to hundreds of local families on Saturday, August 2nd at the Cullman County Fairgrounds. Hosted by Commissioned for Christ, the event offered free backpacks, school supplies, Bibles, haircuts, food and drinks, alongside a day of worship and prayer. Organizers estimate 200 to 300 people were served, with nearly every donated item given out by the day's end. More than 75 volunteers, churches, ministries, and local businesses came together to make the event happen, with no out-of-pocket expenses. Prayer was a central theme as volunteers ministered to attendees and children shared humble requests at a community prayer board. With strong community response and a clear spiritual impact, plans are already being prayerfully considered for a future event. For now, organizers say they're grateful to have witnessed what they call kingdom work in action. Local favorite Mavens Makers, owned by Ashley Chance, in June relocated to a more accessible location in downtown Cullman, bringing its artisan charm closer to the heart of the community. Chance describes the store as a cross between Williams-Sonoma and Whole Foods, selling artisan foods and kitchenware, and also hosting cooking classes, tasting events, and seasonal crafting sessions. The shop even features a demonstration kitchen where many of these classes and events take place. The opportunity arose for the business to move downtown when a space with the same square footage as the previous location became available, offering better visibility and easier access for customers. The shop sells farm-raised meats, sourced directly from a local farm, in addition to items from local makers and crafters. To encourage community engagement, the store offers free seasonal make-and-take crafting events. The next one is scheduled for Saturday, September 13th, and will feature a quick fall-themed craft that visitors can complete in just a few minutes. Mavens Makers is located at 302 2nd Avenue Southeast in downtown Cullman. And that's your 4 stories in under 4 minutes. Now for a quick break before we look at the weather ahead and pay our respects with obituaries. I'll be right back after this quick message. Let's take a moment to pause and remember those who have lost their lives this week. Funeral services for Kenneth David Ratliff, 52, of Cullman, will be at 2 p.m. on Thursday, August 7th at Cullman Funeral Home Chapel, with interment in Simcoe Baptist Cemetery. Visitation will be held from noon to 2 p.m. before the service. Funeral services for Daniel Danny Wallace, 84, of Cullman, will be at 11 a.m. on Wednesday, August 6th at Cullman Funeral Home Chapel, with interment in Neesmith Cemetery. Visitation will be this evening from 5:30 to 8 p.m. at the funeral home. Helga Hedwig Brazil, 87, of Cullman, passed away Friday, July 18th. A memorial service will be held Saturday, August 9th at Cullman Heritage Funeral Home. Visitation will be held from 10 to 11 a.m. with the service following afterward. Brian Keith Edmondson, 50, of Falkville, passed away on Friday, August 1st. A celebration of life visitation will be held this evening from 5 to 9 p.m. at Moss Service Funeral Home. Our thoughts and prayers go out to their friends and families. Now let's take a moment to look ahead at the weather forecast. It looks like we have a couple of mild days ahead. It'll be mostly cloudy today through the night with a high near 80 and low around 66. Wednesday will be partly sunny with a high near 84 and mostly clear Wednesday night with a low around 67. And that wraps up today's edition of Cullman Today. Thank you for sharing your morning with us. And remember to stay connected by following us on social media and visiting CullmanTribune.com for the latest from our community. We'll be back bright and early tomorrow morning at 6:30 a.m. Until then, I'm Christine Wiggins with Cullman Today. Have a wonderful day, Cullman.